Okay, so today we're doing something a little different. Usually we're digging through research papers and all that, but this time we're getting our hands dirty. We've got a mountain of stories, real insider accounts, the kind of stuff people only talk about when they're free from those NDAs.
Right, right.
Makes you wonder, what really goes on in these industries?
Yeah, behind the curtain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we've got rigged contests, food labels that are, well, let's just say creative.
Oh, yeah.
Even some stories that sound like they're straight out of like a corporate thriller or something.
It's going to be juicy.
It really is. So let's just dive right in. First up, something that honestly I think we can all relate to.
Mm.
The pressure to meet those metrics, you know? Like think about being stuck on hold with customer service.
Oh, we've all been there.
Right. But here's the thing. A lot of those call centers, they're pushed to prioritize speed over, well, actually helping you.
Yeah. It's fascinating how companies measure performance.
Yeah.
They often focus on the wrong things.
Oh, absolutely.
So a call center might be rewarded for hitting a certain call time, even if it means, rushing customers or being
A little creative with their tactics.
exactly.
Like that story, remember, about the call center where agents were told to pick up calls and instantly transfer them right back into the queue.
Oh, just to keep their average time down. Wild, right?
It's almost funny in a sad kind of way. As a customer, though,
Whew.
infuriating.
Absolutely.
So what's the takeaway here? What does it all mean?
Well, it shows a real problem.
Hmm.
This focus on looking good instead of getting results is short-sighted, You might win in the short term, but
But you lose in the long run.
exactly.
It's like optimizing for the wrong score.
That's a great way to put it.
And it's not just customer service, right?
Or
We saw this gaming the system thing in, well, education, too. Remember that school? The one inflating their gifted student numbers.
Oh, yeah, based on how much tuition their parents paid.
Can you believe that?
I mean, it shows how tempting it is to manipulate numbers, especially when funding or, reputation is on the line.
It's like a betrayal, isn't it? Especially in a place that should be all about, nurturing kids.
Totally agree.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about food. Everyone loves fresh food, right?
Absolutely.
But what about those labels? The ones that scream fresh, handmade, limited edition. Are they always telling the truth?
It's a good question. It's where marketing and, well, let's call it bending the truth, start to get really blurry.
Right.
Like there was that story about grocery stores changing expiration dates on food.
Okay, that's not just dishonest. That's messing with people's health. That's scary.
It really is,
Yeah.
especially for people who are more vulnerable,
Right.
right? It shows how profit sometimes trumps safety.
It makes you think twice about what you're buying. And it's not just about freshness either. We found stories of handmade stuff that was actually made in a factory, limited edition items that weren't limited at all.
It's all about tapping into that desire for something unique, something authentic.
Right. People are willing to pay more for that.
And companies know it.
It's like a betrayal of trust.
Yeah.
You think you're getting something special, but
It's all smoke and mirrors.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Mm.
How much a word like fresh
Mm.
makes us want to buy something.
It's true. We really buy into those stories.
Speaking of stories
Mm.
and this whole authenticity thing,
Hmm.
what about reality TV? Remember that participant who said they were basically forced to fake a whole relationship?
Oh, yeah, for the cameras. Really shows how reality TV, well, isn't always so real.
Right. They call it reality, but it's like they're writing the script too.
Mm.
Makes you wonder about other shows, even scripted ones, How much of it's real? How much is...
Manufactured drama.
Exactly. And speaking of competition, we found a story about these coding contests. This tech company was going to colleges, offering a laptop, a trophy,
Hmm.
the usual.
Sounds innocent enough.
But the twist.
Yeah.
Some of that code, they were going to invest millions in it, turn the whole thing into like a...
A secret recruiting scheme.
Yeah. It's like, were those students even aware? Did they know their project could end up?
Worth a fortune? Probably not. Ethically, it's kind of shady.
For sure. This whole image over ethics thing, it's everywhere. Like that
Mhm.
story about the Walmart employee, right?
Yeah.
Told to remove the Made in Myanmar tags.
Oh, yeah. Trying to avoid the whole human rights issue, but just hiding it.
Doesn't actually solve anything.
Nope. Just makes you look worse when it comes out.
And those made in tags, suddenly they mean a whole lot more,
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not even about ethics. It's about, well, just how outdated things are. Like, remember that government agency?
Running everything on a giant Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. all of Ohio's social programs. Can you imagine the chaos if that thing crashes?
Talk about putting a lot of trust in a single file.
Right. And if that made you nervous, do this. We heard from a cybersecurity expert said some companies running the U.S. power grid,
Oh, no.
they were ignoring safety regulations, like
Yeah.
completely. Said it was too expensive to comply.
Choosing cost-cutting over safety, that's terrifying.
Seriously.
Mm.
Makes you realize how fragile things really are. But it's not always just technology, right? Sometimes it's about people feeling pressured to stay silent.
Whistleblowers. Yeah, that takes a lot of courage, especially when it's something big, something potentially dangerous.
Like that story from the IT worker.
Hmm.
Overheard what sounded like, well, a child trafficking ring.
Oh, God. While they were working on someone's computer.
Yeah, remotely.
Yeah.
Reported it, but nothing happened.
That's awful. And it makes you wonder how many people are out there seeing things, knowing things, but...
They're too scared to speak up.
Or they don't think it'll make a difference.
And speaking of scary, that nuclear power plant employee, remember, asked to falsify safety reports.
Yeah, that's a whole other level. When it's not just unethical, but potential.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's lighten the mood a bit. It's not all doom and gloom, right?
Hopefully not.
Sometimes it's just about seeing through the marketing BS. Like, remember that shampoo company? Said their stuff was handmade?
And it turned out it wasn't. Just a regular factory.
Just like every other shampoo bottle on the shelf.
They were banking on that image of, something special, something natural.
People fall for it all the time. Limited edition, artisanal,
It's all part of the game.
right? Makes you think twice about what you believe. Remember that story about the bakery using store-bought cake mix?
Oh, yeah. Claimed it was all made from scratch.
It's like, come on, just be honest. But, when it comes to things like medication, that's where it gets serious.
Yeah, that story about the nurse.
The company switched a patient's meds, even though they were doing fine, just because.
The new ones were cheaper.
Exactly. Cost over care. It's kind of scary when you think about it. Like there's this hidden cost to everything. Convenience, competition, looking the other way. And a lot of times it's the people who can least afford it who end up paying the price.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
We've covered some pretty intense stuff today.
We really have.
Food, safety, cover-ups. It's easy to get cynical, Like, is anything what it seems?
True. It does make you wonder sometimes. But even with all these stories, these secrets, the thing to remember is someone chose to speak up, right? Each time, someone saw something wrong and decided it needed to be said.
That's a good point. Like, we can make a difference, but how? It feels kind of overwhelming, There's so much information out there. How do you even know where to start?
It starts with being aware. Once you understand the tricks, the manipulation, the marketing, the pressure to stay quiet, you see it everywhere. And you can start to make better choices.
So it's about asking questions, doing your research, even when it's uncomfortable, right?
Exactly. And when someone does speak up, support them. Those whistleblowers, they're taking huge risks to do what they think is right.
It's like that saying, right? Sunlight's the best disinfectant. The more we talk about these things, the less power they have.
100%.
So what can our listeners do? I mean, it feels like one person can't change much.
Every little bit helps. Pay attention to the companies you support. Ask questions. Look for transparency. And don't be afraid to use your wallet to support the businesses doing things the right way.
Right. Vote with your dollars. And if you see something that seems off, something wrong.
Don't stay silent. Tell someone.
It might feel scary, but you never know who's listening, who might be able to help.
Exactly. Even a small action can make a big difference.
We've uncovered a lot of secrets today, but there are plenty more out there. It's up to all of us to stay curious, keep asking questions, and keep shining a light on these shady practices. So that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. And remember, knowledge is power. Use it wisely.